Up, Cheesy Nation? Hey, we got a crazy video for you today. So man, I was scrolling through Facebook and I've been seeing everything going on in Minnesota. Like I understand what's happening and I know why it's happening, but man, it's getting to a point where like it might be a little too much. Is it acceptable, or is it just simple ignorance at this point? And really what this video is going to be about is my thoughts and my feelings towards this. And we're going to be talking, I got my buddy Corey here.
How you doing?
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about really what we've seen since the whole COVID situation that happened, and now what's happening with George Floyd. So it's insane. It's insane. So right now, we got all these riots going on, and they're not just happening in Minnesota, they're happening all over the states. I live in Houston personally, so it's happening in Houston. There are like places getting destroyed. People's hard-earned, work and businesses are getting destroyed. But for what? I understand why this is happening and what's going on. And, we went silent for a while. The people were protesting in a civil way and really trying to make changes happen. But now it's this whole situation with the cop, killing George was really a game changer. That's really what took us overboard and really changed everything to where, yeah, we feel unheard. No one hears us. They don't hear the truth. They don't hear what's going on. And it's pretty much cops at this point. There's some cops that are criminals and they're just hiding behind their badges with no consequences. And that's really causing the situation and this outburst. And I understand why all this outrage is happening. But the problem is, I'm seeing videos of people's businesses getting destroyed. People that have nothing to do with this are getting destroyed. And is that really how you protest? This is completely going against what Martin Luther King was saying, is protest the right way. All that the protesting has to happen right. It's got to be civil. It's got to be done the correct way for actual change to happen. And now all these riots are setting us backwards. I understand. Yeah, we're gonna be heard, and we're gonna see some sort of something happen, but it may not be a good change. It may not be something that's gonna benefit us overall. This is a civil right issue. This was an issue where, the gentleman, from what I heard, is George. I was told by one of my customers today that he was a Florida guy. He was in Houston. My bad. And he lived in Houston at one point, and this whole thing wasn't over a counterfeit check. It was over a counterfeit $20 bill, is what I was told. Now, I don't know if this is true, but anyways, you're not gonna, that's the problem. You're having a cop come out, and then they're gonna pretty much kill the guy. Like, that's where the problem is. Why is he not peacefully being arrested? I mean, I understand, he may have been arguing or anything, something like that, but I know he wasn't resisting. No way he was resisting that, because he was pinned down. When he was pinned down with a knee, cutting off your airflow, and you can't breathe, yeah, you're gonna panic and start moving around because you can't breathe. And for 9 minutes, this officer had his knee on his air pipes. Like, that's not right. And if anyone was to intervene from the people that were videotaping and, stop it, both of those people are going to get arrested. So what good would come out of that? I mean, yes, they would stop someone from dying, but that person, everyone that intervened will get arrested. There were four cops, I believe, on the scene, and 3 of them were holding the gentleman down, while the other cop had his knee digged into George's windpipes, which is messed up. Like, what kind of right-minded human being is gonna keep his knee into someone's air pipes even after they passed out? Like, that's not right. And honestly, like, this is sickening. And seeing the riots, I was hurt at the beginning when I saw the video, and then now I'm seeing all the riots, and like, it's just making me sad at this point. They're destroying their own communities. They're burning their own cities to be heard. And I understand that part, but there's a certain extent, like, the looting at this point is just, who's that benefiting? Who's that benefiting? It's benefiting the people looting because they're getting stuff for free, but it's not benefiting you fight this cause. I signed the petition that was signed for the cop to get arrested. I signed it. I'm all about it. Like, that guy deserves to be charged with murder and not third degree. Honestly believe it should be first degree murder. That's like a slap on the wrist. So it's pretty messed up. And overall, honestly, that's where the crisis is. That's where people are gonna go crazy. And honestly, like, this is the time for people to unite. White, whatever color you are, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, I didn't see a black man getting strangled. I saw a gentleman that was being pinned down by a cop getting killed in the public. Like it's nothing. Like it's nothing. That is psychopath mentality, and that is messed up. So that really has me shook, and all the rioting really just it's not right, you know. That's not the right way to go about it, and that's just really my honest opinion. Now, Corey, I don't know if you have any input to put on that.
I do. With Derek Chauvin, I believe his name is. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. I do have a big issue. You brought up a good point that he had 3 other officers there with him holding down this man. Now, let's just think about this logically. If you have 3 other human beings holding down one human being, do you need a 4th person leaning on his neck? No, you don't. The second thing is in a way, I'm happy that the world is trying to show their pain. But like Katef said, there's other ways of doing that. But the biggest point I want to bring up out of this whole situation is there were 3 other men there. 3 other men. Let's just take the police officer, the badge, all of that aside. 3 other men there that were watching this man kill this man. Not only that, you have someone recording. My biggest issue with these 4 people, the recording and the 3 officers, how come nobody stepped in? Regardless if the man is a criminal, regardless if he did something right, regardless if he did something wrong, doesn't matter what the situation may be. If it wasn't to that severity of level and he was already like pretty much detained and controlled, why do you have to take it to the extent to kill him? So my biggest issue is, why didn't any of these surrounding people step in? Now, I get it, there's fear involved, but if you're doing the right thing, why are you letting fear control your life? You should be letting what's righteous and what's right control your life, correct? So these are some of the things I want the world to start thinking about. I heard a comment, I believe it was yesterday morning, that Ozzy Osbourne's wife on The Talk, she said this big comment: when you see bad things, everyone needs to pull out their phones and record it. I completely disagree with that comment. The biggest reason is we need to act in the moment, not act after the fact. This is exactly what Atef's talking about. The acting after the fact, it's not helping anything. You're destroying your own villages, your homes, your cities, your communities, your own people. The very places that help you and take care of you on a day-to-day basis. Are you really going to be willing to let all that go? Because what you're doing is destroying and collapsing everything. Are you really ready for a society where you're going to have to raise your own cattle, slaughter your own cattle, raise your own foods, do all these things? See, the things we have around us are blessings, and we really need to start looking at these things as blessings, because I mean, this is what's going on with the world. We're getting so dwelled in the pain. Okay, I get it. The pain hurts. I get it. Trust me, I've been through a lot of pain myself. But there is so many other ways to go about this. And using violence, anger, just this madness, don't let it consume your life to the degree it is, to where you're gonna hurt somebody who has nothing to do with the situation at all. How is raiding a Target and stealing things helping the situation in any way, shape, or form? Is that helping George Floyd? And from what I've heard about George Floyd, is he was a Christian man, he loved the Bible, he was a security guard. All of these things and signs of that they're talking about him show that he's a caring man. He loves the world, he loves to take care of one another. So if you want to represent and honor him, and you really want to like show your love for him and the situation he had to go through and what he lost his life for, then you need to start doing the things he did, doing what he died for. Pretty much, he died being himself. I believe I saw a video where he was holding a Bible up, all sorts of things. I mean, I've heard so many great stories about this man and how of a good person he is. Do you think this good person who died would want y'all to act this way? Really think about that. this whole me commenting on any of this, I just want the world and the people to really start asking themselves questions. Start looking at themselves. Self-reflect. Look what you're doing to the people around you because you're letting anger, pain, all of this get in the way. Do y'all not realize this is bringing up division within one another, creating more chaos, more pain, more anger, more violence? This is only going to continuously grow unless we make a stand and stop. Now, what are some of the options y'all may be asking that we could take from here on? Okay, let's do actual peaceful protests. Let's not throw trash and garbage and pick on the cops that had nothing to do with the situation. Like, okay, do your riots, and the cops show up because they need to make sure it's peaceful. Why are you gonna shit on the people that are there to protect you? Now, I agree, not every cop's good, and there are criminals, but we need to do things in the society to make a system to where we can get rid of these criminals, because that's all it is. That's all the issue is. We got to change the training that the police officers go through, because a lot of their training nowadays is to kill one another. Basically, shoot to kill. Basically, do as much damage as you can so you can control. That's ignorance in itself. If you have a gun on your hip and a badge on you, the world is already, in a sense, fearful of you. So why do you need to take it extra and further steps to take it to the degree where you're going to murder a man? This is not okay, and this needs to stop immediately. I'm gonna let Tef take it back, and we'll leave it at that for now.
Yeah, man, that was good insight. So really, like, it's a situation. It's something you gotta sit back for a second, really recoup and think about what we're doing here, because it's not only just affecting us, but really affecting the innocent people who have nothing to do with this. You know, like, we gotta rebuild. We gotta take care of all the situations that are happening. And I've seen some pictures of people going around and cleaning after all the riots, and I completely understand this, and I respect that. But now really you got to change it. You got to put a whole nother curve to the ball, because right now we're letting the elite win, right? They're dividing and conquering. This is going to become a whole circle of violence and just problems happening over and over and over again without any real change happening because of the actions and the ignorance that happens nowadays. So that's the biggest thing. And really, I hope you guys understood what we're talking about as far as that goes. And now this is another topic that we want to talk about. Is going to be COVID. Okay, I've been trying to think about this for a little bit, and I'm trying to understand why COVID really happened and why it sparked. I thought it was a depopulation situation. I thought, it may be because, maybe it did happen by itself and just go crazy. But really, I started to dig in a little more. And, I told you guys I used to trade Forex. So I noticed that in the Dow Jones, there was a huge gap in the market at one point. And, just like everything else, that gap has to be filled at one point. And when it was at like 29,000 points is when I noticed this. And I told myself it's going to drop. It's going to drop. Something's going to happen and it's going to drop. And what happens? We had the coronavirus outbreak. And right there, you just see the complete spiral down. It just drops. And it just happens to go where the gap was. Now, was that coincidence or was that a setup? And that's something I kept asking myself. And I was like, man, okay, I'm not sure what's going on here, but I mean, this makes complete sense. This makes perfect sense why this is happening. And this is just the timing that it's happening. It's 2020, and every 10 years, something seems to happen. So 1990, something happened. In 2000, you had something happen. 2010, you had something happen. And now we're at 2020, and we got the coronavirus outbreak happen. And it just happens that it was patented. It was patented in 2017, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And, you have Bill Gates behind the thing. And that's crazy to me, So it makes me believe that there is a vaccine, and that's out there. But they're not giving it to anybody, right? So they're suppressing all that. They're suppressing it for a reason. They're trying to take power. The elite are all behind this, and that's honestly that's my opinion. You could believe it or not believe it. Make sure you guys comment down there. I want to hear everyone's opinions on all of this and everything we're talking about. Y'all guys drop a like, hit that sub, because this is real stuff we're talking about. This is what happens on a day-to-day basis in real life. And I know Corey has something huge to talk about as far as COVID goes. So I'm gonna give that over to him and let him spit some gems.
I got a lot of points to bring up with this COVID. Now there's no true evidence for the mass population to know whether or not this is real. There is just not. I mean, there's so many false allegations, false information, even false testing. I mean, there's proof out there that the tests we were getting are from China, and the tests that we were getting were giving false positives, which basically means how do you even know if you really had it or not? So what I'm seeing out of this COVID, and these are just points, like I said, I don't know if it's real or not, and I'm not going to make the comment that it's real or not because I don't know myself. But these are the things that I'm seeing that are coming out of this. And the biggest thing is like Atef was talking about the conquering, the elites trying to conquer and control. Really think about the separation that we're doing right now with the COVID. What is that doing to one another? What is that doing to the communities? What is that doing to the people? We are dividing ourselves, and we're allowing them to divide ourselves. Are we not, I know, but are we not like strong enough? Are we not, are our immunities not built enough? Are we not taking care of our bodies enough that we should be worrying about a virus? I mean, it's just ridiculous to really think about these things. I mean, come on, guys. Like, is that really what love and peace and glory and everything's about? Dividing one another and hating one another and thinking you're weird because you don't wear a mask, or you're weird because you don't have your gloves on, or look at what it's causing people to do. There's now judgment issues with one another. Now we're judging each other even more, judging each other to a whole nother extent, hating on one another. I mean, there are don't get it twisted, there are a lot of great things coming out of the COVID as well. It's making people get healthier, giving people new ideas on how to stay healthy inside their own homes and really take care of their bodies. But let's not forget the negative things that are coming out of this, and let's try to change that and avoid that. I mean, if we have to wear gloves and masks every day, fine, but let's not avoid one another. Let's not stop hanging out with one another. How are we going to grow as a community? How are we going to continue getting better in life if we don't stick together? I mean, singularity is one of the biggest things why people drop into depression. Isolation is just the biggest thing for that, because you feel alone. You feel left out. You feel like there's no one to turn to. And that's what this is just driving those people that already deal with those issues further into. We need to really think about these things. Now, another point I want to bring up with the COVID is the whole contact list. I feel like, and this is just my personal opinion, what I've been studying for quite a while, which I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm religious, and I believe in the Bible and the Quran. And I believe in the revelations that they talk about, the end times that they both talk about. And they talk about the mark of the beast. Now, the mark of the beast is a mark that is given by the unholy one. And the objective is to make you accept it. And from then on, you're marked. Now, I'm not going to say this, that you are unsaved or you will go to hell because you take it. No. Everyone has their own situations, and God will put on their heart what is the right move to make. And, your situation might be different when that time comes. But really think about this contactlessness and the not wanting to touch things, and that it's breeding this thought in people's brains and heads to where we're going to now shift over to a contactless currency, meaning the chips on our card that they've already implanted, where you can scan it now, just like Apple Pay and stuff like that. The whole objective of this is to move on to the next step, which is to put it in your body. So you no longer have to touch doors or do this or do that or touch a credit card reader. Let's really go to the health and sciences of things now. Don't be fearful of being contactless, because the whole point of building your immunity is exposure. Exposure, exposure, exposure. And that's to everything. That's to viruses, germs, whatever. And keeping yourself away from that is making your immune system weaker, which therefore your offspring will have weaker immune systems than you do. Do you really want that? Now, these are just, like I said, the only reason I bring this stuff up is I want people to self-reflect and really start asking themselves these questions. What's really going on here? And then the last key is just that I really want people to focus on that division thing. Really look into how it affects people, how it affects the world, the community. Like Atef was talking about earlier, It's about the community. It's about the growth. It's about the businesses. These businesses, these people, these, you know, little mom and pop shops, whatever, they're crumbling right now. And the best thing you could do for them is support them, not steal from them, not break their stuff, set it on fire, whatever the case may be. Like I said, do you really want to move and switch over to a society where you have to do everything? Absolutely everything? Kill your cow, skin the cow, then cook it and clean it. And I mean, every process and step that goes through it, that is what we are leading up to if we don't stop and make a stand now. We need to take the control back from the elites and stop giving them power, because they're controlling us through fear, through sadness, through our emotions. I'm not saying don't be emotionless or be emotionless. What I'm saying is, yes, have your emotions, but control them in the proper way. Use them in the right way. It's all about how you do what you do. It's your actions. Just like he said with the Martin Luther King, which I love the point. This is not, we saw the change he created, but look how he created it. No violence. He did peace. It was all about peace. Now, yeah, there may have been Black Panther riots. There may have been other outside organizations, but those organizations had their reasons and their purpose in life. But that doesn't mean everyone needs to follow the aggressive path. Everyone needs to follow the violence path, because like I said earlier in this video, the violence is only going to breed more violence. So right now, in a time we're living in right now, the only thing we need to be vibrating off of ourselves is love, peace, happiness, joy, the positive things of life. Stop looking at everything so negative. It's good to point out, what's bad and what's wrong that's going on. But in the same sense, we need to just look at it, understand it for what it is, and move on and grow and show that joy, show that happiness, and block that negativity out. The last thing I want to add to it is don't be scared. Just don't be scared in a time like this. If we're going to go with the health and sciences of things, fear, scared, anger, these negative emotions are poisons for your body, which bring your immune system down worse. So like I said, I don't know everything, whether it's true, or maybe it's wrong, maybe it's not true, but even if it is true, let's not damage our immune system's worth by flooding our systems with this worry, fear, anger, sadness, whatever negative emotion you're feeling. Learn to control that and bring the happiness back up. I'm gonna toss it off to Tef to let him finish up what he's got.
Yeah, hey, that was solid information. He really hit the points on that one, and really, I gotta double everything he said, guys. So another thing I wanted to add was, with the contactless, without touching chips, everything's turning away from fiat cash in a way. If you want to think about it, paper money is something they're trying to kind of get rid of, in my opinion. It's hard to get rid of it, yes. But when they're promoting the idea and doing some sort of inception effect to your brain, where they're putting the idea of not having to touch stuff, not having to be near people, stuff like that, that's gonna make it easier for them to transition into electronical money, right? So now I'm gonna bring up cryptocurrency, because that's gonna be huge. Cryptocurrency is on the verge of blowing up, right? And it just happens that all this stuff is going on, and in crisis is when all this stuff happens without everyone actually paying attention to it. That's when they don't want people investing into it. They scared people off way before, and then they invest into it. And as far as the banks and the big central people go, because that's what causes that wealth transfer. That's what's going to really transition the incomes of those people into complete astronomical numbers, is because they're the ones that got into there at a lower price and then skyrocketed the price. That's how they get richer and richer and richer, is through crises like this, is through riots like this, is through situation like this. And I want you to guys take a second. I'm gonna give you some homework. I want you to look up a gentleman named George Soros. He is a man that pays people to riot. He makes most of his money off of riots. So make sure you guys do your homework. I'm not gonna go too much in detail on that, because that's something you guys should look into, because that is real stuff right there. Look into QAnon. Check that out. See the whole reason behind that and what they plan on doing. And the people say it's a conspiracy, but is it really a conspiracy? That's my question. Is it really a conspiracy, or is it something that they want us to believe is a conspiracy, but it's really reality? And it's true. It's happening all around us. Look at the elites. They control everything. They control the media. They control anything and everything around us. And people are gullible. They believe it. They believe it. They believe what they see on TV, but you shouldn't. You should do your research. You should fact check everything.
Exactly.
And it's insane, you know? So it's getting to a point where really we got to wake up. We got to be woke about this and the situation and everything going on and really unite each other. You know, so I'm letting this video out. It's outside of the content that I'm going to be producing. But this is something that we had to really let out there, because after seeing everything on Facebook and everyone's opinions, I completely understand what's happening. But, man, there really has to be a paradigm shift as far as everyone's minds running right now, because things are not looking good for us as humanity. As civilization, things are not looking good. And I got to say, like, it's hurting. It hurts me. You know, it hurts me to see all this. But anyways, hey, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I hope, hey, Corey got something to add.
I got one last thing before y'all leave this video and stop watching it. Really stick to the comment I said earlier. Act in the moment. Act in the moment. When you see something wrong, act right then and there. Do not hesitate. That is the exact reason why George Floyd is not with us today. Really understand that. I mean, if that cameraman would have put down the fucking phone, and sorry for my language because I tried not to curse this video, but I'm pretty upset with how the world is treating things these days. If he would have put down the phone, kicked the man in the face, pushed him, whatever it would have been to get the cop off of him, George Floyd would have been able to take enough breaths. He would still be alive today. Yes, that man who kicked the cop or pushed the cop or whatever may have went to jail, but guess what? We wouldn't have riots today. We would have people standing outside of that jail cell trying to let the man who was recording that free. That's what would have happened. And this is the whole point about Atef saying, do the right thing. Make the right choices. We don't need to riot in these violent ways. So I'm going to leave off with just saying, act in the moment when you see something wrong. Act right then and there and don't hesitate. Don't let fear block you from that. And that's it.
Yeah, we definitely dropped some gems for you guys today. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit that like button, smash that like button. Hope y'all enjoyed the content. Hope you guys comment. Really give us your opinions on this. We wanna check them out. We wanna read what you guys got and your opinion on this. If we're wrong, let us know we're wrong. If we're right, agree with us. Tell us why we're wrong. Go ahead, like spit it all out down there. Really show us some love. Hit that like. And make sure you guys stay tuned, man. You guys gotta subscribe. Stay tuned because my boy Corey, Corey,
about to blow up right here,
working
baby.
on some music. It's gonna be some heat. So y'all gonna be expecting it, you know. So we're gonna be really pushing out some content for you guys. I'm gonna keep going with the journey, and we're gonna pursue success. We're gonna make this happen. And I hope you really heard what we said in this video and really understood what was going on. And yeah, with that, Feta out.
Hey, Trinity out.
And we'll see you guys in another video. Have a good night.